In the last few years, North America has seen the birth of what is rapidly becoming a strong and vibrant hip-hop scene in the South Asian community. Second and third generation Punjabis have been leading the charge and driving this momentum, and nowhere is this better seen than on the east coast of Canada in Toronto. Desi hip-hop fans across the world have new heroes to call their own, and though it's still the early days, the Punjabi hip-hop sound in Toronto is already one of the most recognisable. New music travelled to Toronto, where we met an artist who has a natural tone and rhyming ability that has made him one of the most respected on the scene. We met up with the artist, known as Noyz.
There's no real story behind the name. I just kind of needed a name. I didn't have a name at the time. I didn't have an MC name at the time. And there's one magazine used to be the basketball magazine called Slam. And at the bottom they had a little section, just random facts and random going on in the league. And it would be called Noyz. And I just really needed to come up with a name because all MCs have a name, and so I just needed a name and I just picked that for some reason. I don't know why I picked it, but I just stuck with it. Really haven't been creative enough to think of something better or something new.
And we're hoping we'll change it. Staring through the smoke in amazement at the globe, eyes open, but my focus is waving.
I just started mostly as a fan of the music. I have a lot of older cousins, so they always had the good hip hop music. They had Biggie, I grew up listening to Biggie, Wu-Tang, Tupac. They had all that sort of stuff. I was always surrounded by that at a young age. And I think just because of that, I was so influenced, I was so enamored with it, I would always be listening to it. I just kind of tried my hand at it myself, and it's just something that I kind of stuck with. At a very young age, I started when I was around, the very first verse that I wrote, I was probably 10 or 11 when I started.
Wow.
So yeah, I just kind of stuck with it. Eventually started making beats as well. That's about 3, almost 4 years now. And it's just grew, my need to do it, my want to do it just grew out of the love for the culture of the music.
I paint dreams and innovate ways that I can illustrate scenes, me and magic. I like P and Havoc, the new millennium, Eric and Parrish in business, back at it, ill man.
I think with each release you want to have some growth, you want to be better than the last one. There's always stuff to improve on, so I felt like in the first release that I had, my main problem was in terms of delivery. So like, Humble calls it color. So like color in the delivery. Someone like Busta Rhymes would have a lot of color in his delivery, versus someone like the Jizza would have more of a laid-back type flow with it. So I think I need to kind of strike a balance between the two. So I think every artist has to find something within themselves to grow on and to improve upon. Because it is an art, it is a craft. No one's ever gonna get to a point where they say, you know, this is where I'm gonna stop. This is where I know everything. Because you're never gonna know everything. So I think with each release, you want to have a lot of release out just because you don't want that, I guess, interest from the people to fade. But at the same time, you don't want to put something out just for the sake of putting something out. You want to have something that's well structured, well crafted, and well planned. Like, for example, Magic's album that just came out, Dream, that's been in the works for a year and a half. He would just keep writing, rewriting songs, keep changing beats. And he didn't put it out until he thought it was perfect, until he was fully satisfied with it. So while there is you know, a need and a desire to put stuff out on the regular, we're not going to force anything out just for the sake of putting stuff out like some artists do.
Like many of the artists in Toronto, Noyz collaborates with his peers regularly. It's easy to be fooled into thinking that they all grew up together, but that's not the case, as Noyz explained.
It was through a friend of mine who knew someone that was organizing an event called When Lions Roar, in remembrance of June 1984. So all these sorts of artists that we brought together. So the first event had Humble Poets, Acknowledge, G&E from Washington. Yeah, and as the event has gone on, you know, we had Mandeep Sethi, Houdini, Baki, Saint Soldier. So just by all these people coming together through this event, that's how I've been able to build so many contacts.
Rapping, but my rhyme book is like a mile thick. Leap it in a single bound. Speaking, then I pin them down. High kicks, sweet chin, music for them weak kids. Using all them styles quick. Better switch, the heat's been brewing. We supreme.
It's really cool. I think as of 3 years ago, I didn't have a musical foundation. I mean, I wasn't working with other artists. I didn't know any of these people as of, you know, early 2009. So it's just kind of building those contacts and building those connections and building those friendships. It's like you not only grow from them and learn from them musically, you just learn from them in life as well. And it's inspiring to be around so many people. I mean, each person fills in for what the other person misses. So for example, Magic can do stuff that I can't do stuff that Humble can't do, and so on. And we just kind of play off that dynamic, and I think that adds a real cool balance to the entire collective.
Noyz's main partner in rhyme is B Magic, another Toronto artist with a natural aptitude for hip-hop. But again, the tight relationship between the two has not been built up over decades. Like so much else in Toronto, their partnership is thanks to an ethnically diverse country that welcomes immigration.
We kind of grew up in the same musical environment, like geographically and in terms of upbringing, background, stuff like that. We were in totally different areas of the world. He grew up in Norway, I was here in Canada. But he had the same thing. He had a lot of older brothers. They put him onto, you know, Wu-Tang, Jay-Z, Pete Rock, all that sort of stuff. So we kind of had that same upbringing in terms of what we were exposed to in terms of music, starting at a young age.
Yeah, back up in this. Noyz, once again, back is the incredible. Check it. Know what it's like to give you all but get nothing in return. Like a moth to a flame, you keep running till you burn. Never crosses your brain, but that is something you should learn. When the honesty is missing, you should probably adjourn.
I think all great art comes out of some necessity for that art. Like it's created to fill some sort of gap. And I think because the collective is constructed of you know, children of immigrants, children of that first wave of immigrants that came here. I guess we're the first group to kind of be caught in the middle between our parents' traditions and what we're around here. So, you know, we're influenced by, you know, Punjabi music and all that sort of thing. But here, growing up, especially in Toronto, which is a very, very multicultural city, you know, we were raised with West Indian people, Jamaican people, people from African backgrounds, Pakistani backgrounds, all sort of things. But, so I think we just learned from each other growing up. It was normal for me to bring, you know, my black friends home, bring my Chinese friends home, all that sort of thing. Especially in Toronto, we kind of infuse, you know, our parents' ideals, Canadian ideals, but because we're surrounded by so many different cultures, we kind of take on their own, take on their ideals as well. We just kind of put it all together.
Noyz is online at noyzhiphop.bandcamp.com, where you can download his work.